Welcome! NOAA has just released its 2018 December Global Climate Report, and this video is a summary of the results from that. First, let's take a look at how temperatures were distributed around the globe. This is a percentiles map which shows the areas of record warm and record cold. Record cold is indicated by deep blue, and you see there's not a single pixel on this map that indicates the record coldest area during the month of December. There are 15 pixels on the map that are much cooler than average, but there are hundreds of pixels where you are much warmer than average, and there are 72 pixels here where you set record warm temperatures. So this would indicate a warming world. The average temperature for the month of December was 0.86 degrees centigrade above the 20th century average, making it the second warmest December on record. Note this warm area off the South American coast, that's the beginning of El Nino. Well, let's take a look at the situation graphically. On the left we have land and ocean compared. For land it was the 8th warmest December on record. For the ocean it was the 2nd warmest, and that summed to make the whole planet the 2nd warmest December on record. Comparing the northern and southern hemisphere, the southern hemisphere was the 2nd warmest and the northern hemisphere was the 5th warmest. As you can see, I completed my 5-year matrix by entering December number 2. And that means all 5 years on this matrix are the 5 warmest years on record. Further, it means we've had 408 consecutive months with temperatures above the 20th century average. That's 34 years. Basically, that means if you're less than 40, you don't remember a year that was below the average global temperature. Well, let's take a look at the upper atmosphere using the data from UAH and RSS. The lower troposphere, which averages out at about 4 kilometers, they rank as 6th and 4th warmest respectively, with an average warming trend of 0.15 degrees centigrade per decade, which is not horribly different from what the surface trend is. The mid-troposphere, which averages out at about 7 kilometers, they both rank as the 6th warmest, with an average trend of 0.1 degrees centigrade per decade. The stratosphere, which is up at 17 kilometers, they rank as the 4th and 5th coolest on record, with an average cooling trend of 0.29 degrees centigrade per decade. Next, let's take a look at how the cryosphere is doing, and we'll start with the northern hemisphere sea ice extent. In December of 2018, it was at its 4th lowest extent ever, confirming an overall decline in sea ice of about minus 3.6% per decade. The southern hemisphere is doing no better. In December of 2018, sea ice was at its 2nd lowest ever, but the overall long-term trend is still an increase of 0.8% per decade. However, the last 3 years have been well below the average sea ice extent. Well, let's see how the El Nino-La Nina cycle is doing. In December, we were technically still in ENSO neutral conditions, although we were tending towards an El Nino. It looks as though that's going to be the situation at least to the middle of the year, but then the models all seem to indicate that we will be heading back towards completely neutral conditions by the end of the year. So in summary then, December of 2018 was the 2nd warmest December on record. We've had 408, or in other words 34 years worth of consecutive months with above average temperatures. We have ENSO neutral conditions, but it's trending towards warmer conditions and an El Nino in February or March of 2019. And the fact that December was the 2nd warmest December on record made 2018 the 4th warmest year on record. Normally at this stage of the video I do a quick summary of what's been going on in the sun. However, I've started a new series called The Sun Now, which summarizes the monthly solar activity, so please take a look at that if you are interested in what's going on in the sun. So until next time, goodbye.